Left versus right, us versus them. While we pay to keep our politicians fighting, how do we, the people, rise up and solve the great challenges of our time? We do it by embracing freedom and liberty. There may be no such thing as a free lunch, but this hour is as close as it gets. Welcome to A Free Solution.
All right, guys, welcome to A Free Solution with Tim O'Connor, the Freedom Variant, and my buddy Bryan LoRusso. Guys, you know that I like doing lives. You know I like bringing contemporary political issues to us for discussion that are important. I want to break this stranglehold of arguing over what Nancy Pelosi is going to do tomorrow. Like, she's not going to do anything to change your life. But with me today is the often misunderstood, somewhat insane, similar to me, Tim O'Connor. We're crazy. We're the government in exile. We're doing what we can to bring you guys real information about things that are happening in your community that are important to you. We need your comments. We want to hear from you, but we want to talk about some real issues that we think need to be discussed. Bryan LoRusso, my friend, how are you?
How you doing, Tim? I'm doing good.
Yeah. I'm doing good, man. Like I see all the effort that goes out there by you, and I gotta tell you, I'm impressed. Okay, like I'm impressed with it. But I'm gonna tell you, and I want to put this right in your lap early on. There are people out there that think you are doing this to showboat. They think you're doing it to put on airs. They think you're doing it to just make noise. And Bryan, I've seen people accuse you of being a liar. I've seen it on Facebook and stuff like that. Like, where do you want to go with that? How do you want to respond to people that talk to you like that?
Well, first off, I mean, listen, haters are going to hate. They don't like the fact. They don't like the fact that we're exposing the truth. We're sharing the truth. You know, I just had a little bit of a back and forth on social media about Peter Oberacker, and they're telling me, oh, he's a really great Republican. I don't know how they can call him a Republican when he's on the Green New Deal bills sponsoring, when he's on video, saying that he agrees with some of Hochul's gun laws. When he votes for this biodiesel bill, that biodiesel bill is destroying farmers' old tractors. I talked to 3 of them, interviewed 2 of them, put videos out about 2 of them, and they're all saying, our injectors are falling apart, the O-rings in them, the solvents in them, is just destroying their tractors. This is Peter Oberacker. This is the guy for farmers.
I just want to talk about an economic theory. Some of you guys know, like, this Joker construction guy actually attended SUNY Binghamton, and I learned a lot about economics. And one of the things that we talked about with this broken windows fallacy, okay? Like, we talk about this notion of the government says, hey, we'll make you throw your stuff away. We'll help you buy new stuff. And then we're going to dump it in the ocean and make coral reefs out of it. And they're going to pretend like they did you a favor. And then because we do some sort of like illusionary revenue kind of growth, what we did was destroy local farmers' wealth, especially in this broken windows fallacy, where we're saying, hey, these tractors were already made. They've been in operation for decades. They're repairable. And now they're going to force them to use biodiesel. And it's not right to destroy people's property through force. It's not right. So what do you think about that? A little economics lesson. What do you like?
Destroying local farmers' wealth. There is no wealth, man. They're living day to day. And these farmers I talked to, I mean, he literally explained that, even if he could pay for the part, $1,000 injector system to replace all the O-rings after it goes bad because of the solvents in this biodiesel. He literally said, I can't get the part because of supply. He said, so it doesn't matter. I'm dead anyway. He had 5 of the same tractors there, literally 5 of them in a row. They're all the same tractor. And he literally has them because he can afford the same 40-year-old tractor just for parts after parts, because he can't get any parts. That's if he could afford to replace them. So this Oberacher thing, you know what? I don't know what it is. One of the people that I saw recently is this guy, Timothy Dunn. He's on the conservative page. He's a troll. I personally think he's a Cassell troll.
Let me put it to you like this. He's irrelevant and he doesn't understand the points you're making. What people like that want is they want to associate with a big win. They don't care about anything else. They think that by supporting Mr. Oberacher, who, guys, like I've talked to Pete, I don't think in his mind, like I think there's things that he could change about how he views what he's doing, but things that he's doing are simply wrong and bad for our economy and bad for people, and that's a reality. So
yeah, and it's going on, and and these listen, I often say, even the stuff they were putting out, the lies they were putting out about Terry Bernardo, it's the whole Russia thing. You put that stuff in people's heads, and they go, oh, maybe there's something to this. I better vote for my guy. Instead of actually looking at their guy and going, yeah, my guy is my Republican. He's a Democrat. I'm sorry, he's a Democrat. I would rather vote for the Democrat that I know what I'm buying than the lying Republican. And I'm a 36-year Republican.
I see. I think that's an interesting point. What I've gotten to, Bryan, and I just want to run down this road just to keep our conversation going. We've gotten to this compassionate authoritarianism where, like, we buy into these myths of forcing people to do stuff and act like it's good for them, and then we pat ourselves on the back, and it's like that is what's breaking New York State. And when we see someone who's saying something like, I'm a Republican. Republicans are purportedly for smaller government, though I haven't seen much evidence of that. I want to be honest.
Even that's not happening. I mean, the layer after layer after layer of bureaucracy, that we see over and over again it's just insanity. Our county reps, we now hired a manager.
It's amazing, right? What we need is a supervisor now. What is this?
Now we hired him. By the way, we hired a manager from a county that couldn't wait to get rid of the guy we hired. I don't know if you realize that.
You and I have had conversations about it. I realize that's how we do this. And based on what did we hire this guy? Like, I don't get it, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's under the guise of better efficiency, and it's good for the people. All I know is the only people it's good for is these reps and these administrators. Let's face it, Otsego County. Look at the salaries that the wages that our county people are making versus the administrators.
Yeah, I think we want to do a whole segment on that. My job, which I'm horrible at, right? My job as far as doing the live is to keep us focused on one issue at a time. Right.
I know
that issue. This is mine and yours major flaw, right? Like we'll like talk about 1 million things. We'll be very animated, and then people will be like, "Oh my God, those two guys are crazy!" Like that's it, So like, let's stay on this Oberacher thing. What you found, and guys, Bryan does some things that are really interesting, really important, and we can all kind of participate in some of the things that he's doing. So Bryan files FOIL letters. Bryan does some research. And so let's talk about one of the things that you, with the aid of some of your friends, found out about some things that are going on out in the town of Maryland.
Well, it's pretty amazing, and it's quite voluminous. Back in 2018, Formtech, Oberacher, and Ron Wheeler's company buy I'll call it the town's watershed. It was a barn, and the watershed is on federal property or federal wetlands. It's a big barn that's sitting there. And they want to buy this thing. They make an offer. I have the minutes to the meetings. They make an offer sometime in 18, and the supervisor at the time says, "Okay, everybody, we want to let you know that Form Tech has made an offer to buy the barn. At the bottom of McCarthy Ave." Okay, 2 weeks later, no public announcement, no advertisement, no town hearing saying, "Hey, folks, we're going to sell some town surplus. Why don't you come to a meeting?" None of that happened. 2 weeks later, you can read the minutes. You can read the minutes, and all of a sudden it comes up, "Hey, everybody, let's take a vote on Form Tech buying this barn." They take a vote. That's the end of it.
That's the end of it. They don't put it out to. This is something Peter O'Brien got away with a couple times, guys, and I talked to him to his face about it. Okay, making public property available for a direct sale is guys. Maybe it's technically legal, but I've got to be honest. That looks like corruption, even if it's legal to me. Okay, these things, when we seize property and give it to our friends, when we sell it directly to a land trust instead of putting it up for public auction, those things are those things are bullshit. Okay, literally bullshit. All right, that stuff is supposed to go out to public auction for public bid, and yeah, it's a longer process, but at least it's not corrupt. Okay, and so maybe it's legal.
By the way,
it ain't right. Okay,
they're supposed to be sealed bids, advertised and receiving sealed bids. This is such a problem throughout the state that the comptroller literally put clarification out, giving guidance to the towns, on how they're supposed to do it. It's taxpayers' surplus. It's mine. It's yours. It's your neighbor's. It's not 4 or 7 people on this board to sell. It's not.
I get
they
it,
have
man.
to advertise it. They have to receive public bids in sealed envelopes as per the guidance from the comptroller. They did none of this. So they go and sell it. You look up this property. This property is deemed the water supply for the town. That's why I refer to it as a watershed.
I know. Let's be clear. This is actually an important piece of this puzzle, and sometimes we get to glossing over things. They took down a town barn that's on property that's dedicated to be the town of Maryland's water supply, right?
Yes, deeded by the family that owned it. Now I'm going to throw something in there. The family had living rights to the stream, to the water, to the barn, to that property. They gave it to them back in the 50s or something like that, it's the 60s. But it's in the deeds because I pulled the deeds out of the county.
Yeah.
I didn't pull it. My assistant pulled it.
Which is great. Like, I'm so glad that we have an advocate. Anyways, I told you I was going to knock you a lot during this show, but so I'm not going to be kissing your butt every 5 seconds. Go on with your story. You're a problem, Mr. LoRusso. You're a problem.
I'm struggling so hard to get people to realize that this stuff is happening, not just in Maryland, not just in Hartwick. It's happening everywhere. And as communities go, if we allow this to continue, they are going to take everything they can. Now let me go one step further. So they take this barn, they buy it for $1,500. I got the check from Form Tech through my FOIL, through the DA.
A copy of the check. You didn't actually get
a copy of the check. Sorry. The DA in Otsego County knows this is heating up. He actually refers the matter to the state comptroller. So there is an investigation going on.
Sure.
On the offer to the town that Form Tech makes, also the minutes, and I've been sharing piece by piece with people so they could see it. I feed it so they all see it slowly and can digest it. On those minutes and the offer, it literally says that they're going to bury the debris from the demolition.
Yeah.
I wrote an email. Here's my concern. They didn't pull permits to take it down. The town road superintendent is this guy, Tim Walkie. He's their contractor. He's the contractor that got caught putting the building back up, building the 180 person event center. So this is the building they take down to roll up the road and start their event center with.
Yeah, let's talk about, because I think one of the things that we want to point out to people is that there's a lot of cronyism going on
It's brutal.
that should concern all of us. I know we're a small area, and I know we want our friends to do well, and we like it when our buddy gets to make a couple hundred extra bucks on a Friday or whatever. All right, there's things, that pieces of this that are good. Okay, but guys, when we allow them to proceed unchecked without anybody standing up to them, this is what they do. They make themselves rich, and they basically walk all over the rest of us. Now, I'm a libertarian, man. I hate building permits. That's all bullshit. All this stuff is bullshit, right? So, but it's not bullshit when you bury debris in on a property that's dedicated to the town's water supply. It's not bullshit
federal wetlands.
when something should be put out to bid that's not put out to bid. We're minimizing opportunity, and we're taking care of our crony buddies. And so look, I'm afraid that at some point, like, I'm going to make these guys mad enough they're going to come after me. What do you think? Possible?
You know what? Maybe you call it crazy, I call it passionate.
Yes.
You know what? Let them. I'm hoping they come after me. I really am. I'm just so sick of it, watching people get abused.
Didn't somebody kind of come after you already?
Huh?
Didn't a politician kind of try to make some?
Well, yeah. Who is it? Dan Wilbur. Dan Wilbur tried to shut my black barn down from people meeting Terry Bernardo.
Mm-hmm.
And happens to be, this is Ober-Rockers County, and he's on the same Republican committee and the same county board as Ober-Rocker. They're
Coincidence.
They're all covering for each other. It's like they'll punish you and I for doing something.
All right.
And then when they're doing it, they go like this.
Yeah.
They don't look any other direction, and they cover for each other.
I believe that we're getting to the heart of some of the problems of our higher taxes and our problems in New York State. And look, guys, I know some of you guys have been lifelong Republicans, but I want to say something to you that might hurt your feelings. Okay, the Republican Party is happy with being the party in second place. They win a lot of elections in upstate New York. That leaves plenty of opportunity for this kind of cronyism for them. They're glad. That's why they minimized the Libertarian Party. That's why they minimized the Green Party. They work together to get us radical believers in freedom and radical believers in human rights, and guys that want to protect the right of the smallest individual, the smallest minority, the individual. They don't want us to have ballot access. And so that's what's going on. Some of them don't even realize it. It's just part of the program. All right. And
I'm a 36-year. I was a 36-year Republican. I just recently left and went to the Conservatives.
I don't blame you. I went with the Libertarian Party. I got very sharp on the ballot because you would have came to us.
They don't want Republicans like me.
I know.
They don't want Republicans like me that really do want less government, really do want representatives to be the servants to the people. I was forfeiting my salary, $14,000. You know where I wanted that to go? I wanted that to go to our town clerk, because our town clerk can't spend the time people want of her to be there.
Yeah.
Because she's getting paid $13,000 a year.
Oof.
My point being, she's got a pretty important job. She needs to keep our town's business straight. And instead, they got her running errands, and she's good-hearted about it.
Yeah.
But she's also part-time teacher at the school. She's doing 3 different things to try to feed her family.
Right.
My thoughts are, why are these administrators, these supervisors, these superintendents making, all right, for our argument's sake, a town supervisor, 14, 15 grand. But these supervisors that are literally pointing their finger are making 80, 90 grand when our road crews aren't touching that. When the people that are turning the screws, getting the work done, they're not making a fraction of that. And yet we're so
I know
overloaded.
I promise to keep you on track. We're going to do a whole segment on that. We are going to do a deep dive on that, because there's another area where people do not understand what we're talking about. But what I want to do, because Bryan, you brought the comments, man. Let's give these people some honor for like showing up and talking to us. All right, let's do that.
First off, Kelly, love you. Thank you for being here, Glenn. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, look at all these people. These are awesome.
Yeah.
Tracy.
Yeah, Tracy, look, Oberrocker needs to be called out publicly. Ain't nobody better at it than Bryan LoRusso and me. I'm here to help. Like, I'm here to prop this situation up. Our buddy Shelly, right? Rich farmers, do they raise unicorns? Do they? Because if they did, the magic farming product, guys, is not there. And the state regulates these guys to death. Every single virtuous thing they come up with about the environment, they dump it on the small farmers. And then they're going to cry about how big farmers took over everything. And like, it kills me, man.
Well, you know what? They cry about it. I think it's fake tears, man. They regulate these small farmers into the ground, and literally they drive the industry right to the big farmers.
Because the big farmers can buy regulations from them. Right. Like, I don't even hate to say it. I was going to say I hate to say it to try to be polite. That's exactly what's going on, and that's the problem. All right, let's say hi to Ralph here. Ralph's got built to last, with the exception of using low-grade fuels that they were not designed for. That goes back to our tractor issue, right? Like making people throw their good stuff, operable stuff, into the freaking ocean or sell it to the scrapyard and force them to buy like a $200,000 brand new tractor. That's the kind of thing that we have. It's destruction of wealth, and nobody seems to get it except for lunatics like me and Bryan. And I guess Ralph obviously seems to get it. What do you think about that?
I agree. And listen, at the end of the day, if that farmer goes under and he's got 100 nice acres, our county reps are going to be right there to take care of them. I want to show you something. Let me show you something.
Sell it to a land bank.
Let me show you.
Look at this.
Look at these pages. Tax foreclosures. Pages of tax foreclosures. Year after year. Excel spreadsheet after Excel spreadsheet. Tax foreclosures. Tax foreclosures. There's thousands of people that have lost their land, lost their properties, lost their homes. I got it. Some of them maybe just up and died. And, there's no one left in the town needed to take it over. But I'm telling you, let me read some of these total bids. The bids. Hold on, total bids. Here, total bid on this person's property, $4,500. Total bid on this person's property, $1,000, $1,250, $2,500, $5,500, $1,000, $3,000, $7,000. You mean to tell me we got to take people's property for that? You mean to tell me that we didn't spend more money to steal their fucking land?
That was the F word. Congratulations. Well done.
I'm sorry. But that's what we're doing here.
It's insidious, and I think that this is something where we share this passion for. It gets even worse in a situation, for example, like Robert Force's, right? Like, where they took his land because they didn't like the fact that he was pro natural gas. They sold it. They sold Bryan, and this is a big piece of it. They sell it for more than the taxes are owed on it, and none of that money goes back to the guy that they screwed out of the property.
Well, the guy that endorsed Oberrocker down south for this last primary race. The guy literally made the newspaper. He's a county bigwig.
Yeah.
Gets an offer on a piece of property for 130 or 40 grand.
Yeah.
Turns the offer down sells it to his real estate buddy in Long Island for 60 grand. Except the couple, this guy's name is Moss. The couple that actually made the offer had the balls to go after him, and they brought him to court, and they're gonna get awards. But to his buddy, his real estate buddy, because you know what they do? They flip it and they split the vig.
It's
disgusting.
That is disgusting. Okay, like that is, and guys, look, I'm gonna tell you, like when you want to run for office of the Republican Party and the Democrat Party, they interview your bank account first. Okay, like that's what happens. That's a reality. Let's work our way down through our buddy Ken Williams. All right, so look, Ken says some things in a weird way that everybody kind of goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. But look, we've been abused by our government for a long time, and Ken is standing to the opposite side of that. He wants people to realize that our economy is contracting, our people are leaving. They're changing the dynamics of our economy and how we understand and interact with people. And it's scary and it's wrong. And one of the biggest problems why it's scary and wrong is because they're not protecting the rights of the individual. So I get it, Ken. Occasionally when we get into these word fests, I want to dial your conversation back, but I want people to be clear. Like there's an element of truth here, right? They're changing everything about how we interact with each other, and they're putting the government above us all the time. And that is the issue. And they're beating up on us for it. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. They can't.
Here's Ken again. This is one you like, right? Like you want to just do a little riff off this one?
Well, and I agree with Ken. We have 24 town supervisors. We're already paying them. Who better than the town supervisor to know their townspeople? They're already there.
They're already there.
I'm okay with even raising their salary to take on the extra duties. Now that we have $100,000 a year county manager, why can't those supervisors work with that manager?
Because that doesn't fit the political schematic
right.
of getting elected twice to serve on the county board, getting elected twice, then retiring, and then taking your health insurance with you for the rest of your life. Okay? That, guys, is a reality. It's an injustice. Nobody gets that. No town employee gets to work for 4 freaking years and keep their health insurance for the rest of their life. Okay? Doesn't happen. It's inappropriate. And it's something that should stop. Okay. Like, guys, you could be mad at me or Bryan for pointing these things out, but we're not trying to make you mad. We're trying to point out a reality that government has become too intrusive, too powerful, too filled with cronyism.
Yeah.
And it's hurting all of us. And we just, because we want a red victory, we ignore that reality, right? Like we ignore that reality.
I had someone say, one of these guys say, oh, it doesn't matter. We got to vote red. And I said, if you actually knew your candidate and you knew that candidate was literally against everything your party's supposed to represent, you're voting for a Democrat in Republican clothes.
Yeah.
I'd rather vote for, I'm telling you, I'm writing Terry Bernardo's name in because I can't go along with what the Democrats have done to this state.
Right.
And I certainly can't go along with a rhino that goes along, Peter Oberacker, that's a Democrat.
He was part of the Unite Party, guys. And I don't think that's an endorsement. And this is with all due respect to people that are trying to form third parties. I was not impressed with the Unite Party, particularly because of they're the compromise party. They're the purportedly like, let's go ahead and make guys throw away their tractors. Let's go ahead and make people get rid of their internal combustion engines by 2035 because that's good for the environment. It was Harry Wilson, one of the big guys that was sponsored by the Unite Party or whatever, tried to get on the Unite Party. He worked for Obama. He helped craft, guys, this goes back to the broken windows fallacy. He helped craft the cash for clunkers deal where they blew up engines. They took all of the inventory from the car dealers. They took all of the common stock from the people that owned the car dealership, like the common stock, and they dumped it all in a dumpster fire. They disappeared it, and they threw cars into the ocean. And after they blew them up, like that's the stuff that if we don't wake up, what kind of future are we handing to our kids? It's basically going to be illegal to accumulate any kind of wealth. And we're all going to be like, look, the economy grew. And it's like, because you made me spend all my god dang money, bro. Like, cut it out. Let's give us a couple more. Brian Bedford in the audience. He likes your flannel shirt. What do you think about that? You got good taste in clothes. Guys, I have my shirt against mandates before it was cool. And on the back it says I'm already against the next mandate. Custom crafted by the Freedom variant with that.
Well, listen, I'm a t-shirt flannel kind of guy.
Yeah.
You know,
Alice Inc. out there, all local government supervisors do as they please, not having local people vote on any of their employments. I get it. I absolutely get it. I saw a comment. Oh, here we go. Let's take a few minutes just to take shots at Kathy Hochul. And my buddy Logic is out there. I'm kind of in disbelief that there's anybody that would vote for Hochul at this point. The no bid contracts connected to her mega donors should have been the line. But the Democrats love the fact that they're in power. And look, guys, I'm writing in Larry Sharpe. You're not going to change my mind. I don't think that Lee Zeldin can win. And I don't know that there would be a substantial amount of difference. Like when we get right down to it, I understand that people want me to think about advocating for Zeldin, but he's basically says, hey, we should be energy independent, but don't drill there. Hey, like we should be energy independent, but don't do this. It's like, it's kind of more of the same. So I don't think anybody should vote for Hochul. I think everybody should vote for Larry Sharpe, and it would be a huge victory for New York State. Again, because guys, the individual's rights are what we're losing in our society. You got anything? It would be nice to get rid of Hochul. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
I think she needs to go too, but I can't argue with Larry's math. Larry's math is correct, and you can't fight math.
You can't fight math. You really can't. You can't.
The numbers don't work in our favor. And on top of it, I don't know if anybody. I think this new scandal that Zeldin's got going on is going to actually lose some of the votes I was counting on people voting for him.
Well, wait till it officially shows up in a debate, because right now it's just kind of making the rounds in the media, and people are paying less and less attention to the media. And our buddy Len Bernardo, right? This is Terry's husband. He's a great guy. We're friends on Facebook. He likes some of my posts. I'm gonna like this guy. I can tell. But yeah, 135,000 people. Now we did get about 115 votes the last time, 115K. So it's doable, guys. It's doable.
My fear is that I don't think the math doesn't work for me in regards to Zeldin winning, and at the end, I'm not gonna have a third party to choose from if I don't vote for Larry. So I'm still leaning towards voting for Larry, writing his name in. I believe that this Zeldin thing is going to blow up in his face, where he tried to cheat on the independence party line. How can you cheat? How could you literally make photocopies of 11,000 signatures and not think you're going to get caught, and then tell everybody that it wasn't your party when the guy that signed it saying, yeah, I'm responsible, is Zeldin's campaign guy?
Look, I get it. And look, Alice, over towards Oxford, right? We have rhinos too. They're everywhere. Some of them aren't even rhinos on purpose. They actually think what they're doing is being prudent with money. And so check it out. Our conspiracy realist, right? Dave Race. Hochul's daughter-in-law is a big money lobbyist for Biogen. Conflict of interest much? Guys, they don't give a shit about conflict of interest anymore. Like because we don't have a media that makes news out of news, okay? They don't make news out of news. We don't get reporting about things like this, all right?
You want to talk conflict of interest. You've got, and the cronyism. You got Oberrocker's state chief of staff is Ron Wheeler.
Oh, no, I know.
Ron Wheeler is the town supervisor now in Maryland. Ron Wheeler is Oberrocker's partner in FormTech.
Yeah, that's good. We didn't cover that as well as we should have. That's a pretty good point, guys. Like,
I got a call today that they're actually harassing and threatening the chairman of the planning board to resign if they don't approve Oberrocker's illegal event center on October 4th.
look, this may be my favorite thing that he did, right? Because as a libertarian, he said, "Screw the state. I'm building a barn. The hell with you." As a joke, guys, like if you make those rules and if you're participating in that system, and I'm all for less rules, guys. Like, but this is an issue. The town water supply is an issue. The not putting out the barn to a public auction is an issue. These things are real issues that we somehow have to address. All right. We've got here's something interesting that's going on. All right. If I, a left-leaning progressive, never opened my mind and listened to people, this is my friend Patty Blanchard, guys, by the way, if you're listening on the podcast, because this got Bryan, this actually eventually goes out to a podcast, believe it or not. If I, a left-leaning progressive, never opened my mind and listened to why people think what they think, I wouldn't know about what happened to third parties. None of my friends knew, and no one is talking about it. And guys, that's a reality, right? They did this deal. They did this deal. Okay, Cuomo was responsible for this deal. And guys, he's an authoritarian psychopath. I don't care what anybody says. And Hochul's following right in his footsteps. What they did was grant themselves $100 million in campaign money, okay, from the taxpayer of New York State, okay, $100 million at the exact same time that they kicked the Green Party, the Libertarian Party, and I think maybe the Conservative Party and the Working Family Party survived somehow. Not sure, but
the Independent Party.
Oh, and the Independent Party. Yeah.
No, they kept the Conservative Party because the Republic. I don't know how they keep the Conservative Party, but they have the Conservative Party. They kept them there, and all they are is puppets to the Republicans.
Yeah,
they're the best kept secret right now.
It's just amazing. And look, there's future collaborations, and there's collaborations and coalitions that we can build about freedom. One of the things, because I speak conservative, right? Like I speak it, I think it. That's how I got here. I actually may have voted for Bill Clinton once because when I was a young, crazy guy, right? But I liked what Ronald Reagan said. But I got to the Libertarian Party because things that, like, number one, in New York State, there was a huge disappointment for me that the Conservative Party never split away from the Republican Party. Every single time it counted, every single time there was an important issue, the Conservatives just said, all right, the guy in red is a little bit better. And it was such a disappointment to me. The other thing is, guys, if people want to get married, people can get married. That's none of my business. They're individuals. I protect individual rights. Separate the wheat from the chaff, though, okay? Like, you want to talk about what's going on in our schools as a form of brainwashing and stuff like that, that's a different issue, okay? But if adult people want to do what adult people want to do, fine. And also, we need to talk more about victimless crimes and how those people are getting punished. And then when it comes to, like, real violent crime, those people are not getting punished. And that is a complete failure. It's like they want us afraid, then they want to take our guns, and then they want to act like we're assholes because we are like losing our rights. And guys, we've got to be better about that. And so, Bryan, Shelley and I were at the hearing for Larry up in Albany, and to me, and guys, I don't think I'm stupid, right? Like I think I understand arguments. I felt like our lawyer was on point, presented a valid argument that basically got dismissed by a panel of judges up there that wasn't on the law. It was a populist ruling. And I think that that's a problem. Okay. Like, politics even enters our court systems. And you look at how Letitia James is abusing our court systems.
They place these judges exactly where they want them. You know, you could cite law after law after law, and you know what? It doesn't matter. The laws that you use, and you walk into court and you go, hey, you're right here, this case versus this case, this argument versus that argument, this court hearing, it doesn't matter. None of it matters anymore. What matters is communities.
Yes.
Communities start revolting together.
Yes.
You have to start this on a local level. What are they going to do? Arrest your whole town? They'll never arrest your whole town.
Maybe.
But you know what?
I wouldn't put it past them.
You got to go down to these board meetings. You've got to go down. I don't give a shit what Nancy Pelosi's doing. I don't. She is not going to affect Otsego County right now. But I can tell you the guys that are bullying people and taking land and making these rules and setting their own salaries and putting their buddies in these positions, they are screwing us. And every community just got together and went down and put the fear of God in them, because we need the fear of God in them, that enough is enough.
Yeah.
It might stop here. And if it stops here, then you help your neighbor. Then you help the county next door. But if we continue to tolerate this, they are going to shit all over us, and they are going to continue to do it. Oberrocker's buddy is on the planning board, right? The planning board buddy, his wife is the judge in town. His buddy is the local zoning guy who never said boo during this whole ordeal, watching this building. He just drove by like this. Drove by his property for the last year like this. He happens to be the same zoning guy down in Oneonta who will break your balls if you put your garbage can in the wrong place.
We do, like, oh my God, we are so freaking micromanaged, right? Like, my garbage guy won't take a piece of freaking, like, I throw a piece of metal in there, and the freaking guy digs it out and sets it on the ground, because he'll get in trouble if he takes a piece of metal to the transfer station. Guys, it's nonsense. It's garbage. Throw it away for me. Like our buddy John Barron's out there. Some people support guns, some people support abortion. We need to keep our personal feelings out of it and let people live their lives. I accept that there's guns and abortion are good issues for us to talk about. I think we can do better. I think I'm in favor of this uncomfortable agreement, this uncomfortable societal agreement, that what they've done with abortion, John, and I think you probably know this, right? They keep using it as an issue to get people riled up and angry with each other. And that to me is all part. They do it with immigration. They do it with all sorts of things. And so I want this uncomfortable societal agreement as to when life may begin. And then I think we can kind of start settling that issue. But I respect that people may not see it exactly the same way as I do. But I'm definitely cool with guns. You know that. I think one of the things, Bryan, that I think that we should handle, right, is where people get confused about us. Like, we're conservatives, right? We're like, we're libertarians. We want less government. But like, when we get right down to it, okay, our sheriff's department in Otsego County is failing. Okay, they don't have enough staff. When we get right down to it, we don't have enough people on the roads crews. We don't have enough people working in the county offices that we've deemed to be important. And if you ever get in a job, like, say you're the town supervisor of Hartwick, and we get rid of the county board, or let's say you get a bigger job, right? What can we do? What can we do to fix this for these people? Because, guys, it's a reality, man. Go ahead, Bryan. I want you to take over on this, because you have a pretty good view on this.
You know, you're only going to get, there's some pretty basic rules, when it comes to working. Union, non-union, you got union guys, you ask for a good 8-hour shake. All right, and that 8-hour shake, that is dedicated to the people, especially if you're serving a county position, whether it's a road crew, But you make sure that if those boys are doing things like our own road crews, and that should be a rate project, you make sure those boys get that rate.
Yeah.
There's things, our dumpsters down in town. We got 12. You go down to Hartwick's town board, you can't park anywhere because they got all these dumpsters there for recycling. Even today, I see a post where someone puts up, I call them the dumpster Nazis. They go down there and they take pictures of the wrong debris in the wrong dumpster and then just shame people for it.
The caring will continue until morale improves. That's reality.
But my point being, you know what? How about we have a dumpster section, open it up every Saturday, give one of our guys, rotate our guys, give them a little overtime to monitor those dumpsters, get them out of our goddamn parking lot and find somewhere for a laydown area. Put a fence around it, throw a camera on it, and be done with it.
Yeah. What I want to do.
Well, we have layers of bureaucracy eating up the cash. We have all of these pet projects, special interest things that we're paying for, when we should be paying our people better, when we should be taking care of the people that are turning the screws, getting the roads taken care of, taking care of our fields, take all of the duties that they are responsible for. Instead, we got $100,000 administrators pointing their finger. I don't need anybody for $100,000 to point their fucking finger. Sorry.
I agree with you. Shuffling papers for $100,000.
Our road, minus the road going up to Peter Oberacker's event center, I can't find any other well-paved roads in the area. But he
drops a bomb. Bryan LoRusso drops a bomb. Guys, look, I'm going to put it. Bryan did a good job. I want to put it a little different way. Like, our county is forced to deal with all sorts of unfunded mandates constantly. I want our county, because we have the right under the New York State Constitution to push back against unfunded mandates. We absolutely have that right. And I want people in the county to understand, in Otsego County, and this, because it's true for the county, then it becomes true for the towns, okay? You guys, I hate to tell you this, most of you already know, you're among the lowest paid in New York State, okay? While your county board guys get elected twice and they get health insurance for the rest of their lives, okay? These guys, the people doing the jobs, are among the lowest paid in the state because we don't push back on unfunded mandates. We participate in grant farming for infrastructure, and then we're stuck with the long-term maintenance on that infrastructure. And guys, they take it out of you, they take it out of me, and then they take it out of the county employees as well. And so it's time to change that dynamic. It's time for our county board to step up, be bold, and start paying the people that are doing the job in Otsego County, because it's going to pull everybody's wages up, and everybody's going to be able to stand against unfunded mandates because they have a cause. And that, guys, is a reality. How do you feel about that? I sum it pretty good.
Yeah, it was good. And I like how you clench your teeth, because I feel it.
Man, I do. It's just awful what they've done to people for decades here,
Yeah. Well, and we need representation that is going to offer constituent services, to take care of people, not spend our money faster than we can send it to them. I like how I'm seeing it all over the place. Oh, we got a grant. We're going to do this on a grant. But they didn't tell you that after the grant money's over, where do you think they're coming for the money? So they spend millions and millions of dollars that ultimately we paid for that grant money. No matter what, ultimately it came out of our hide to begin with. They set this program up, and in 3 years, when the grant money runs out, where do you think they're going to? It's going right back to your direct taxes, your county taxes, your school taxes, your property taxes. And you know what? If you can't pay, well, don't worry. We'll foreclose on you for $1,000
and sell your property to your
friends. Take your property. It's such a vicious circle that no one realizes and no one really gets. And once again, it's not crazy, it's passionate.
It's still crazy. People don't understand why we're passionate. That's the part.
This is why.
Right.
Honestly, people look at me and I do very well. I've done very well. I don't need to do this. I'm not doing this for anything but them, but people. I can live my life with all of my stuff, pay my taxes, my children will be okay, and I will make sure that whatever I have to do. But in the meantime, I see people that aren't as fortunate as me, and I'm trying to help, and I'm trying to point this out, and I'm trying, and
you're passionate.
Sometimes I feel like I'm banging my head against the wall.
Let's take us both down a notch, and let's have this conversation where our friend Tracy, right? She's a mutual friend. She's a supporter. She understands on some level, what we're trying to do. And let's you and I talk about this for a second. It's like, sorry, the Libertarian Party is a clown show. If people vote for Larry Sharpe, that is a vote for Hochul. Now, specifically, maybe the Libertarian Party is a clown show. I'm not sure I'm really willing to argue that. We do have in New York State a great group of people that are dedicated to issue advocacy, to moving the dime forward. But so maybe that part I'm not going to argue with. You and I could talk about that at a different time. But I'm going to talk about this. If people vote for Larry Sharpe, that is a vote for Hochul. And I'm going to tell you that kind of binary thinking, I absolutely have to reject. I will respect whoever you decide to vote for, and I'll respect whatever reason you decide to vote for them. But the binary either or, these lies that they tell you, and these emotional connections that they make in your brain, that if you vote for the lesser of two evils, you're still voting for evil. That's how I see it. I want solutions. I want a guy that has solutions at hand and that is solution oriented. Now, I've heard Zeldin talk. I heard him in his things. I've heard Hochul talk. They talk in platitudes. New York State needs zero more platitudes. They need positive, proactive solutions. And bro, I'm sorry. I see you're edgy there. Go.
I almost want to say to even some of our group, our old guard group, that I'm gonna make a contract with them, because I wanna vote for Zeldin because I want Hochul out, but I have a feeling that math is going to prove that even if we get 150,000 people to write Larry in, and he gets third-party ballot access, the Libertarians get third-party ballot access, I still think Zeldin, with my vote, with all of my friends and the old guard's votes, we push for, I still think he loses by 350, 400,000 votes.
I'll go higher and say it's 700,000. We lost 400,000 people.
Right.
400,000
They're sitting in Florida.
that maybe could have been persuaded to vote for Zeldin.
So what
I'm
looking at is, I believe we're not only going to lose based on the math. If I waive my vote and give it to Zeldin, not only am I going to lose with Zeldin, I'm going to lose my possibility of having a third party competition to this ultimately one party system we have.
Wow. That I might steal that from you, and I may use that.
You can have it.
That was really well done, bro.
That's what I'm looking at. I'm going to lose against Hochul, giving my vote to Zeldin, and I'm going to lose my potential of having competition to both these creatures.
Yeah.
I
got. Let's deal with a couple of Tracy, I respect you. I understand what you're saying. I get it. We want better for New York. Honestly, let's go back to us making fun of people who get upset over Nancy Pelosi, right? If we fix our local counties, our votes for Hochul or whatever, okay? And I'm going to touch on the two-way. Otsego County went after this two-way sanctuary thing pretty hard, okay? It was tabled. It was sidelined for years. And now, because of the new rules and laws that these clowns passed, all of a sudden it might be back on the table. If we had started pushing back as a county and counties all over New York State, because a couple were brave enough to do it then, but we didn't join them, okay? if we had started pushing back then, we may not be dealing with this garbage now. So Hochul, Cuomo, you vote for whoever you want to out of those two, Zeldin, whatever. I don't care. It's your choice. I'm voting for Larry. The issue is fix our counties. We may fix the world. I don't know. That's what I'm hoping.
When you do put the proverbial wall up at your county level,
yeah,
you can stand on your own 2 feet. If you have a constitutional sheriff that lives to his oath, like other sheriffs in many other counties, going, you know what?
Other states like they do.
And other states, you know what? We draw the line here in Otsego.
He's the guy that we hired to enforce the Constitution.
Instead, we literally got our senator buying buildings from the town, moving them, burying God knows what on their federal lands. They're walking all over us. So,
I agree.
Like I said, I can't control what you think. Me screaming loud is going to help, with the Nancy Pelosi. No, yeah, I care. And yeah, I'll vote. I certainly am not voting for Biden next time. So I'll try to fix that later.
Oh, it's horrible, guys.
In the meantime, we have problems right here. We have abuse going on. Can you imagine if everybody watching this show and everybody from Otsego County showing up in Maryland on October 4th?
Oof, it would be big.
It would be big.
It would be big.
It would be big. And what are they going to do? They haven't provided drawings, no site survey. I talked to them today. They still haven't provided half the information they were supposed to. But you know what they did do? They threatened the planning board chairman, the 74-year-old man.
All right. So look, hold on. Let's draw a line, because they isn't necessarily Peter Rohrabacher. We're assuming because of cronyism that he had something to do with it. But somebody is, in fact, threatening the guy with forcing him to retire, right?
Ron Wheeler is the supervisor of the town board.
Okay. All right.
They're literally telling the guy they're gonna force him out if he doesn't vote for this on the 4th.
All right. So let's take it down a lighter road. Hopefully it's a lighter road.
All
I
right.
want my gay, married, legal immigrant neighbors to be able to protect their marijuana plants and family with their guns. Is that too much to ask for? Bryan LoRusso, is that too much to ask for?
I've often said, I don't care who you love. I don't smoke weed, but I don't have anything against it. The harder drugs, listen, I don't want my 12-year-old able to get fentanyl. So
I think that's something we can kind of have reasonable discussion about.
I really haven't seen too many pot smokers go and lose their minds and break barroom brawls.
True.
You know what I mean? I do believe in my Second Amendment rights.
Yeah.
I believe in God. When it comes to the abortion issue, I'm a man. I don't believe I should have any say in what a woman should do with her body.
Yeah.
I will proviso that I believe that someday you're going to meet your maker, and I hope you're ready to explain that.
That's reasonable, I think.
That is my position. I am pro-life. I have 8 children. Of course, I'm pro-life.
you put your money where your mouth is, for sure, brother.
But at the same time, I don't feel as a man that I should have a say in what a woman does with her body. I hope they're ready to explain that someday when they meet their maker.
I think that's fair. I think that's an okay way of looking at it. I'm more like, if we could have just made an agreement at some point in our societal history, these psychopaths wouldn't have the issue to force us into arguments over it. Like that's where I'm at with about 60% of the shit that I see coming out of the federal government.
I'd like to give Glenn Ferguson, a man from Maryland, a veteran. I'd like to give him a shout out. And I absolutely agree with him. He says it starts at home. if we can't fix our own problems, then how the hell can we expect to change a state or our country? And he's absolutely right. If we fight back right here in Otsego County, like I hope Chemung does and Madison and all of them, if we fight back here, we can join forces with Delaware later, and we can join forces with, Madison, and we can do that. But if we stay on the shiny things all over the country, where
I love it.
Anything done.
I love it.
And we have Oberacker, we have his partner, we have Maryland, dead to rights, in writing, abusing the living shit out of everybody. This county should literally be revolting back, pushing back, making sure that these goddamn rules that we need to live by, him and his partners live by them too.
Yeah. So where are you at on, is the earth flat or is it round, Bryan? I basically on my page took some selfies of myself by the ocean, proving without a shadow of a doubt, there's no debate, the earth is flat. What do you think?
I've had buddies that have taken flights in the what's that craft, that aircraft that used to literally go to the atmosphere?
Oh, the Concorde or something?
The Concorde. I've known people that to take a flight on the Concorde, and they swear it's round.
Okay.
They go right to that outer limit, and they swear you can see the entire curvature of the earth.
What I use the flat earth thing for, okay, is that on a realistic level, I've never been on the Concorde, okay? And so for me, it's funny, right? There is good arguments, really, really good scientifically based arguments that the earth is round. There's interesting and weird arguments that say maybe the earth is flat. I'm at a point in my life where I'm like smart enough and old enough to know that there are certain things that I don't actually know, but that I take a leap of faith or I read a persuasive argument. And that's my joke about whether the earth is flat or not. And because it points at, we fight over stupid shit, right? We fight over dumb stuff all the time. So that's my point about talk about whether the earth is flat or not.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, years ago, I joined a page and it was called, the Flat Earth. And it's a big group of people with a lot of perspective and a lot of views and a lot of, all I know is I judge my decision based on a few buddies that I knew that took literally flights in the Concorde, and they swear that the earth is round. I haven't been that high before, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't actually know. There was because once you start thinking about the earth is flat, you start posting about it, like your Google searches come up with things. So I saw this whole study that was very persuasive about the curvature of the earth and shadows being cast 500 or 700 miles to direct north. Like, it's persuasive, right? That's provable, and that it was proved hundreds of years ago.
Right.
So that to me was very persuasive. I can't. Immediately my brain came up with a critique of it, but I'm not going to share that here. Like, that's just the way my brain works. I agree with what John's saying here. I vote for Larry Sharpe. I think that we need to focus locally. That we need to say, yeah, your vote means you've thought your situation through. That what you've come up with is important, and that you refuse to be manipulated by the one party or two party system. And I'm going to dump one more thing. I'm getting to where I just want to say I'm anti-authoritarian. Both parties act like authoritarians, and they don't care about you. They want your money in their coffers, and they want you emotionally off balance. Like, what do you think about that?
Listen, I think that both parties are just taking whatever the heck they want, and I don't think they care. I really don't think they care. As long as they get what they want, as long as they get their positions, you're right. Republicans are good with second place because they're going to get their jobs. They're going to get their perks. I think they're working deals out. Here's how I relate to Larry Sharpe and the Zeldin thing. I think it's the same story we heard about Ola.
Say that again?
I think it's the same story we heard about Ola. All right.
Yeah.
the rhinos going, you gotta vote for Kyle Vanderwater. You're gonna split the
vote.
we're gonna lose.
Vanderwater was never gonna win. Never.
At the end, we did good. I mean, we had 1,300 write-ins in this county alone.
Yeah.
But Vanderwater lost by 35, 40,000.
I know. Like when I was making noise when I ran against Peter O'Rocker, everybody folded coming down to the last week, and I'm like, you guys, he was never in risk of losing. It was to make him listen to freedom, man. Like, holy crap, you guys are, and you voted for me, and another like 125 or 150 of your friends in Hartwick voted for me, and I know people all over the county.
I think you walked away. I think you walked away with 500 and something votes yourself.
On record, I did not reach out to a number of polling places to count, but I got messages from all over saying, "Hey Tim, thanks for running. I voted for you. Keep it up." And look, I want to deal with this, Wes. I'm more conservative than you, and I'm also more liberal than most of the liberals that you deal with, and that's a reality. You can be mad, you can call this shit, but I'm telling you right now, you're missing the point, because we don't have to fight and we don't have to call each other names. We can move forward and fix our communities, and that's what we should do. You and I probably agree on 60% of things. Where you get drawn down is where you don't want, like, whatever, gays getting married, stuff like that. It's none of my business. I want it to be none of your business, but that's up to you. Okay? Keep listening. You want to come on and be the real conservative on this podcast? You come up with a storyline that you want to talk about. Let me know. You and I can have a face-to-face, and I'll see if it works. I don't care.
You know, I want to point something out. I think you're reading Wes's. Message wrong.
Okay, that could be because we're getting late in the show, and you know we get sideways, brother.
Wes, I think what Wes is saying is we do need true conservatives, in-your-face conservatives, that are going to stick up for true conservative values. You know, Shelley said something in our last thing, and I want Shelley to realize I remember this. She said that the Libertarian Party was born of conservatives. That's where they came from. So conservatives went even more conservative in regards and turned into the Libertarian Party. I personally believe, and we've been saying this for a long time, that I'm very conservative, and I relate to a tremendous of 85% of the Libertarians' platform.
Yeah.
Since when have you actually really believed in a political party's platform of 85%? That's huge.
It's because you're anti-authoritarian and you're solution-based.
You know, I believe in our founding fathers. Listen, even the Bible says we got to pay taxes. You know, I believe in our founding fathers.
The Bible was written by King James, bro. Are you crazy? That guy, of course, he wants to give unto Caesar what is Caesar. I read the Bible back when it was in Aramaic. No,
I believe that those fees were meant to take care of the people. They weren't meant to pay for your goddamn college tuition. They weren't meant for all of those. They weren't meant for these special interest things. You know, Rand Paul just put something out. It was amazing. That, you know, and we probably don't have time to even go into it. But
what happens now, guys? Check this out. Is Bryan and I are radical believers in individual rights and liberties, and if we keep going, we're going to get so sideways that, like, who knows what will happen, right?
Well, listen. All I know is I want people to engage. On a weekly basis, I get 2 new people saying, "Keep up the good work. I'm watching your stuff." You know what I want? Not just watch it, share it. I want you to fight for people with me. I do. You know, there's nothing in this for me other than trying to help people.
Yeah.
You know, and at the end of the day, if I help people help themselves, help their communities. I have 8 children and I got 4 grandchildren. By the time you put me in the ground, I'm hoping I make a difference for all of your children.
That's almost exactly the issue I got. So we got a couple fire comments before we go off the air, right? We need to leave the party bullshit out of it. I really think that the Democrats and the Republicans, the authoritarian sides of those parties, I added a little there, are sitting back and laughing at us. And they are, because we fill their campaign coffers, and then big business buys regulations from them. Hey, what can we do to keep us divided? And that is how they win. That is how they win. Then we got another one. Go to town board meetings and you will see real tyranny going on. Alice is right about this, man. Like, it's absolutely a fact, right? They just kind of ease it through and they just kind of say, hey, wink, wink, nod, nod. Let's go ahead and sell the barn for $1,500. Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, man.
You know, it's amazing what they've done over there, and you know, I think they're gonna try to push it through. On October 4th. Not that I think they've actually provided anything that we the people would have to provide. You know, once again, I'll say 6 months it took me. Engineer drawings, surveys. The bank in our town, it's been there for 100 years. Always commercial. This little 40 by 60 building, always commercial. And I had to do all the same stuff. I had to literally give them cut sheets on the lights I wanted to put in the building.
I know. And that's one of the ways.
Why are they paying?
Yeah, that's one of the ways they stifle development, right? They stifle the little guy and they keep him out by having a burdensome level of regulations and rules that they've got to follow. Like, that's a reality. Look, man, I can feel it, right? Like, we will get sideways if we keep going. So what I think we did a good job. We've explained to people why you're passionate. Guys, look, Bryan has the goods, okay? If you reach out to him, old guard, or talk to him on Facebook, he'll provide you provide him with an email. He'll provide you with this stuff, and you can make your own decision, okay? Like, as human beings, I don't dislike Peter Oberacker. But I don't care. I don't think he understands what his mission should be, okay? And I am anti-incumbent about 90% of the time anyway. To some of you guys out there, we have a possibility of making a difference. Did you see Craig and Nick on I know you saw them. What'd you think? We got guys cohabitating the conservative and libertarian line out in Chemung County, trying to make a difference out there.
I watched them. I liked them. The only thing I didn't care for is the position because of my position about the board supervisor.
Yeah. I thought Nick said he would be amenable to it if it was brought to him as an issue. Like, it was a very politically adroit answer, I thought.
Yes,
I thought it was really good.
Yes, it was. That was very, very politically correct, that answer.
But I don't know that I believe that he means it, right? Like, I think Nick is a genuine dude. And I think that if people were to bring it to him.
I agree with that. I like them. I like them both.
Yeah, Nick and Craig, guys, check out the show from Saturday morning. If you got $5 to try to make an impact, you got $10 to try to make an impact. As a former candidate that ran a race I wasn't going to win, those donations, those $5, $10 donations, kept me doing podcasts, kept me going to meetings with people. It was inspirational. So if you got a little bit, just go check out that podcast, find their websites, and give them a little bit of money. Save the world, use cash. There's nationwide change shortage, guys. Yep. The government's going to issue a digital currency. We are so screwed.
that is going to be the end. That is going to be the end. When they can shut you off for not taking the jab, you're in trouble.
Ron Paul lives on. I mean, he's still alive anyway, but audit the Fed. Shut the Fed right down. Guys, if we don't, this is what has the Fed and the modern monetary theory has allowed them to destroy our wealth and tell us that they grew the economy and did us a favor. And that's something that we got to fix. Bro, I love what you're doing. I appreciate you as a human being. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Well, thank you for having me.
And again, you'll give this information to whoever wants to see it. They can make their own decisions and
Yep.
maybe join you on October 4th.
We have foils. We have emails from the county DA. We have emails from our county code. They're concerned too about what was actually buried in that ground, and they actually offered to help get the Army Corps, DEC, involved. And we should all be concerned about what was buried there.
Sure, it's the town's water supply. Hey, Wes, I'll thank you for being here. Thanks for making your comments. If I got a little bit aggressive, that's only because I'm passionate. I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate the fact that you like my friend Bryan LoRusso as well. Guys, it's going to be over. We went an hour and 15 minutes, but I'm telling you, we'll get sideways. We'll
Thank you, everyone.
Printing guns and all this other stuff. I don't know what we'll do, but it'll be awkward. We got to go. You guys all have a good night. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good night.